Good morning and welcome to the Cuyahoga County Council Community Development Committee meeting. It is Monday, September 16th at 9:09 a.m. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones is absent at the moment. Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Kelly.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. This morning we're going to go out of order. We're waiting on the arrival of one of my colleagues. And so because of that, we're going to go to the ARPA activities first, and then we will come back to the banking activities. I remind you that we have a full agenda today, and so what we're looking at doing is being concise and brief, explain who your organization is, what the request is for, the dollar amount, and why you believe Cuyahoga County should be investing in your project. That's for the ARPA requests. The first request before us, Madam Clerk.
And for the record, there is no public comment submitted. And if we could first approve the minutes from July 22nd.
Thank you. Have either of you had a chance to review the minutes? If so, could I have a recommendation for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Madam Clerk, we have a first and a second. All in favor of approving these minutes, please say aye. Aye. Hearing no dissension, we will move forward with the approval of these minutes. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2024-0307, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Smart Development Incorporated for the Community First program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Who is representing this request today? We have no one representing this request. Excuse me, Trevor or Cynthia? Who did we contact in relationship to this request?
Cynthia Mason, council staff. Notice was sent out to the project owner on Wednesday, and I believe I received a confirmation of attendance. So I'm not sure what the delay is or why there's no appearance.
Well, they're not present, so we'll move on.
Okay.
Thank you. Next on our list, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2024-0308, awarding a total sum not to exceed $40,000 to the Building and Leveraging Opportunities Foundation for property rehabilitation from Districts 3, 7, and 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
Do we have a representative of the Building and Leveraging Opportunity Foundation? Good morning. If for the record you would identify yourself, your role with the organization.
Hi, my name is Terrell Pruitt. I'm a board member of the Building Leveraging Opportunities Foundation.
Thank you. Would you proceed with your request?
Thank you, Madam Councilwoman. We're asking for $40,000 of ARPA dollars to support the Building Leveraging Gold Door Initiative, which is a partnership between the BLO Foundation, known as the Building Leveraging Opportunity Foundation, the Ready Life Bank, a private bank, and also the Cuyahoga County Land Bank. This program is designed to increase the opportunities for home ownership. What we have currently is we complete our first home in 2023, and we're in the process of completing our second home at 3314 Tullamore Avenue in the city of Cleveland Heights. The funds that we're requesting are designed to be gap financing to complete the project. This is a project that is ongoing, and we have close to a number of 14 applicants that are looking for opportunity for this home.
Okay. Do any of my colleagues have questions? Hearing no questions. Your project looks like something we would commit to under almost all circumstances. We're committed to revitalizing our core city and inner ring neighborhoods. We appreciate your organization's endeavors on behalf of our communities in general. So thank you for your work. To my colleagues, I'd like to move that we move this forward to the full council. Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor? Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any no dissension? Then we will move this forward to the full council. All ARPA funds are required by agreement among my colleagues to have 3 full readings. And so if you'll follow up with staff before you walk out the door, they'll tell you what the potential dates and full approval will be for this funding.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2024-0310, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Wall Street Nottingham Development Incorporated for the new headquarters and residential development project from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good morning, Councilwoman. How you doing today? Good morning, Councilpersons. I'm Eugene Miller, Chairperson of Wall Street Nottingham Development Corporation, and we're here this morning to request $20,000 for gap financing for the redevelopment of our future home and farming activity.
Okay, go ahead and proceed.
Yes. First, we received this property from the Cuyahoga County Land Bank August the 15th. And one of the things was it was an interesting relationship. It was almost a promise. The late CEO granted us this property, and his instruction for me was to get it done because where it's located at on St. Clair, it needs to be rehab. And since we are a new development corporation, we had to do a lot of things to secure the funding. So we have right now $230,000 of funding, and this will help do the gap financing. What we're going to be doing on St. Clair at 6311 is redeveloping the front. It'll be our storefront. And in the rear, we added on, we're going to be having a greenhouse in the back, and we have attached is our proposal, our business plan, our objectives, and be able to achieve that program, to be able to bring our new headquarters in the front, and in the back is going to be our greenhouse where we're going to be doing farming in that area to try to help secure the food deserts in that area.
So you will have some fruits and vegetables available for sale
Yes, ma'am.
year-round because of the
Seasonal.
greenhouse?
Yes, it'll be seasonal.
Based on
Yeah,
what's available?
yes. From March until October, we'll have fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, during the winter time, it would ease
You
off.
haven't figured out how to grow tomatoes in January?
Not in our climate. Maybe we go down to Georgia somewhere, but not in our climate, Madam Chairwoman.
Do either of my colleagues have questions? Go ahead.
Thank you. This is in Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
Have you approached Cleveland for funding?
We're working on it right now, sir.
You're working on it?
Yes. Cleveland's, our city's a little more, I have to get the legislation in and go through the obstacles of the county was a little faster dealing with the situation.
So officially, we're a lot easier than Cleveland to deal with.
Yes, as a former member, yes, it's a whole lot, the process is a little different.
Who's the council person over there?
For the city of Cleveland, it's going to be Councilman Harrison. For the councilwoman for the county is going to be Councilwoman Conwell.
Mr. Harrison's a good man, so I'm sure he'll be helpful over there.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a question, sir? Yes?
I do, thank you. So under your other funding, so the city of Cleveland, $20,000, that's not been procured yet, right?
It hasn't been procured yet, but we're working on the legislation to get it processed, yes.
Okay. And then I see that there's going to be 3-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments there.
Yes, in the upstairs, yes.
Yeah, how long do you think that's going to take to get that going so you have an income there?
Well, phase 1, we're going to be working on stabilizing the property. We've just received it. Phase 2, we're going to be working on tearing down the rear to add the greenhouse. And phase 3 will be the apartments. So we're looking at a year process of getting this done right now.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Hearing no further questions, I move approval of this project funding. Is there a second? There's a Second, and is there any conversation? Hearing no conversation or other questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, this is approved. Congratulations, Mr.
Thank you,
Miller.
Chairwoman. Thank you.
Talk with the staff on your way out the door. For the record, I see that Councilwoman Simon has joined us. Let's see if we can get through the last two ARPAs and then move on to the Banking Committee, since we're moving so quickly and efficiently.
Okay, Resolution 2024-0311, awarding a total sum not to exceed $100,000 to the City of Maple Heights for the purchase of property located at 5391 Lee Road from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good morning. Welcome, Madam Mayor.
Good morning. I'm Mayor Annette Blackwell from the City of Maple Heights. In this resolution, which is 2024-0311, is an opportunity for the City of Maple Heights to acquire a residential property right next to my police station. Actually, the house is so close, if you come out of the Detectives Bureau of the police station on Lee Road, you're looking right into someone's bedroom or dining room. So this is an opportunity for us to expand our municipal center, our campus. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to build a wonderful glass, state-of-the-art municipal facility. So for the last almost 10 years since I've been there, we've just been improving what we currently have. This is an opportunity for us to purchase this home, which is right next to the police station, closest to the entrance to our Detective Bureau. It also sits between the municipal parking lot, the back part of that being the police station, and the Maple Heights High School. So it would afford an opportunity for us to expand our parking, sharing that parking with the Maple Heights High School, which hosts a lot of events. When there's home games, of course, for football, people are parking on the street and Broadway on our downtown. Additionally, we do have a mayor's court in Maple Heights, and so on the evening of mayor's court, we often are finding parking spaces for those coming to the court, usually on the side street. What further complicates this is Gaines Funeral Home is directly across the street from the Municipal Center, so we have the battle of trying to get those visiting the Municipal Center for all city businesses or mayor's court of not parking in the funeral home parking lot of Gaines Funeral Home. So it's a challenge. So this presents a unique opportunity for us to, I would love to tear down the facility and build something amazing, but to just really improve what we have, expand our presence and footprint aesthetically on Lee Road, which is our municipal center coming right past Libby Road. Super excited about the opportunity and looking for any support and approval of this from this legislative body.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My colleagues, do you have any questions?
I can just comment.
Ms. Simon?
Madam Chair. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
So I used to practice in your court for years when I was a young lawyer, and even then there wasn't parking available, and just recently I had to go do some business there. I ended up at the gas station.
That's right,
across
which
the
is right next door.
So that's where I ended up. Yeah, so this is really needed to help them move along their business of the day, so thank you.
Thank you. The chair also would like to say that this is incredibly important. At least twice a year I come out to visit you for some reason, and if I didn't know where to park or where to look for something, it would be very confusing. And we do want to, we all like to respect our neighbors. And on the days that Gaines has services, they really have low tolerance for people who are wandering to park in their space or hiding there. So thank you for being forward-looking on how your campus can grow and handle the public's needs better. If there are no further comments from my colleagues, I would like to hear a motion in support of this. I will make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Hearing a first and a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, congratulations, Madam Mayor. As you know, ARPA takes 3 readings before council, but you know how to follow up with staff and make sure we deliver on time. Thank you and congratulations.
Very grateful. Thank all of you.
Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2024-0314, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Karamu House for the Next Generation Capital Improvement Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairwoman Stevens and Council. My name is Tony Sias, President and CEO of Karamu House, America's oldest Black producing theater, celebrating 109 years. This morning request is for $50,000 for next generation programming. As many of you know, in July we completed Phase 3 renovations, which was over a $5 million investment. Thank you for your support there. What came along with it was additional new space, which would include an enclosed pavilion, ADA accessibility from our north side of the building to the south side of the building, a bistro, and other event spaces. Support would allow us to begin to continue to operationalize those spaces and to provide ongoing support for teaching artists, patrons, and lifelong learners and students.
Thank you. Questions from my colleagues? As you know, Karamu House is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, performing arts centers in this country, focused on the growth, expression, and development of African Americans. We are proud to have it in Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland, and glad to support your endeavors. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Recognizing Ms. Simon, a second?
Second.
Mr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Any nays? Hearing no nays, congratulations, Mr. Sias. One more piece of what you need to get this campus into great shape. Madam Clerk, at this time I'd like to move to the first item on the agenda, a resolution for banking activities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 2024-0305, making an award on requisition 13032 with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $7,640,000 for banking services for the period October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2028 for the providers listed 1 through 4 on the agenda.
At this time, I'd like for a brief presentation from the county execs team. See the deputy headed toward the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Councilwoman. So the banking process began July of last year. As we update this, we've changed some of the RFP structure from the previous time when it was issued in 2019, putting more of a focus on the community lending and banking services, background points being 5, banking services 55 points, merchant services 10 points, custodial 5 points, the card programs 5 points, community lending 15 points, which is the first time we've put this in the RFP process, and then the pricing 5 points for a total of 100 points. The deadline for submissions was August of last year. We received 7 submissions. This is a couple more than the previous 5 in 2020. And then we held interviews in November of 2023. So I just want to thank a lot of the fiscal team, Department of Housing, Department of Development. There's a lot of employees involved in this process, and so hats out to them and all of their work. The other thing that we've done, we hired a consultant this time to take a look at the HMDA data to do the CRA request and to do the ratings. We then called back 4 banks for conversations about the CRAs, PNC, Huntington, Key, and U.S. Bank. And we introduced this to council in July of 30th. And I know, Councilwoman Stevens, we've gone back and forth with you on several of the questions, including some confusions on the resolution 2024-0305. So we resubmitted a resolution to make this more clear on what this looks like. Specifically, Key Bank, $100,000 for 4 years. This $400,000 is, we have an earnings credit, so this is just to kind of capture what this would look like, so it's not necessarily a payout. And additionally, the P card and travel card, the $4.2 million is to capture what the county actually expends on that. Additionally, for Huntington Bank, $100,000 for 4 years in banking services. One of the moves that we've done with the changes in this, Huntington Bank did a tremendous interview and came out high ranking. One of the points that we made in this process, though, it is a very big hurdle for the county to change our treasury agreement because we've done so much work on our ERP system to upload this. But recognizing Huntington Bank's tremendous interview and feedback, we will be moving a couple of our operating accounts over to Huntington Bank. These include our commissary account, our FIFSA account, and other unclaimed funds, future and back accounts. Additionally, PNC is $80,000 for 4 years. This mirrors what we've done with PNC in the past. And then the same with U.S. Bank for custodial service is $80,000 for 4 years. And then the $500,000 accounts for the fuel cards. So this is the money that the county already pays out. Specifically, I know there's a few questions I'd like to capture. One of the things that the county executive is very important is to meet residents where they are. One of the tremendous things that Key does is they will collect all of our real estate taxes at their branches. They are the only bank willing to do this. And just to give you a glimpse at the last round of our collections for property taxes, Key collected 7,677 of our payments totaling $24.8 million at their branch. So when it's difficult for residents to come down here to pay their property taxes, we do want to be able to meet them where they are, and some people are not comfortable with putting this in the mail. So it's a definite positive that Key can offer to our constituents here in the county. Councilwoman Stevens, is there any other questions that I can answer?
Yes, in relationship to that last collection item, how many constituents paid downtown in our offices?
I don't know that answer off the top of my head. I can ask Brad to follow up with that.
And how many folks paid theirs by mail?
Sure.
And how many folks paid them electronically through their mortgages?
Were these in the questions that was just handed?
Some of them were, but
Okay.
it wasn't that specific.
Okay.
Okay, now we can proceed to let each of the lenders that you're recommending have 7 to 10 minutes. Because I was asked to be concise because people would like to go see a Supreme Court justice or something like that. And I think that one of our presenters, their team is actually a sponsor. So it would be good for the sponsor to be present when something fabulous like that happens. So I can understand that desire, which is one of the reasons we moved the meeting to 9 o'clock this morning. Okay, there are 4, excuse me, Madam Clerk, are all 4 lenders present to give us a brief snapshot of what they're willing to do?
Yes, Madam Chair.
With and on our behalf? All 4 are present?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have electronic presentations from each of them?
We have electronic presentations from 3.
Okay. I had one call myself and staff and ask if they could get to the podium first. That would be Huntington, who's representing Huntington, and if they would come to the podium, please.
Madam Chairperson, members of the committee, I'm Carrie Carpenter, Director of Community Philanthropy at Huntington, and this is my colleague Stacy Glenn Short, who is our Community Development Program Director and CRA Officer. Chairperson, you had asked us to present a little bit of our community information and data, so I wanted to highlight a couple of things and just say thank you for the opportunity to bid on the county banking business. We are pleased to be here and have a whole team that can answer any questions that you have. In terms of highlighting a couple of our community programs, focusing on the mortgage area and the small business area, we have two specific small business programs, our Huntington Entrepreneur and Residence Program, which funds 11 different nonprofits in Northeast Ohio to help small businesses start and grow. In the first 2 years of this program, we have now served 1,581 business owners, 58% of whom were minorities, through this program that we're really proud of. We have another lending program called Huntington Lift Local Business that provides greater access to credit, business planning services, and educational resources with a focus on minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses. These are essentially microloans that can go anywhere as low as $1,000 up to $150,000, a space that not everyone wants to operate in. And again, specific outreach in minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses. On the mortgage side, we have two special programs I want to highlight. One is the Believe Mortgage, which is a collaboration between Huntington and CHN Housing Partners that offers first mortgages designed for low-dollar mortgages and those who have been historically left out of homeownership opportunities. And we just launched our newest program, Home for Good, which focuses specifically on down payment assistance and grants that can be used specifically in majority minority communities. Right, if I got that right, Stacy. But Stacy has a presentation based on your request, Madam Chairperson, around our lending data and specific community data comparing city and county and the market. So I will turn it over to Stacy.
Stacy, I see a copy of it in writing. Oh, there it goes up on the screen. Thank you.
Yeah. Just there. Do we have control of the presentation? I'm sorry.
Sharon will.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for asking us to provide some additional information on Huntington's performance overall with regard to, thank you. I'm sorry. My name is Stacy Glenn Short. I'm the Community Development Program Director and CRA Officer for Huntington Bank. Thank you again for giving us the opportunity to speak on our performance within Cuyahoga County and the City of Cleveland. Based on the questions we received, I prepared a couple of analyses. One is an overview of our deposit market share overall between the county and the city. I also prepared a mortgage analysis that contemplates our rank within the county and the city, looking at all lending, looking at diverse lending to diverse borrowers, lending in diverse census tracts and low to moderate income census tracts, as well as lending to low to moderate income borrowers. And I did that for the county and the city. There was also a question about our small business lending, so there's an analysis of that, and an overview of our community plan and the impact to the Cleveland MSA as a whole. So if you go to slide 2, it's very small. Thank you. Slide 2 just shows our overall deposit market share in Cuyahoga County, which is 7.9%, and we are the third ranked deposit accepting entity. On the next slide, you'll see in the city of Cleveland, we are fourth ranked with 6.43% deposit market share. This is as of June 30th of 2023. The 2024 data won't be out until later at the end of this month. If you go on to the HMDA data, what I did with HMDA data is I broke it out by the category that was requested. And then I also included an analysis of originated and purchased, as well as owner occupied. So originated means it was directly originated by the bank. Purchased could mean two things. It could be, one, I went out and purchased loans for the purpose of CRA to buy actual loans to cover my CRA lending. Or I worked with a correspondent lender and delegated underwriting authority to them to sell my products. In the case of Huntington, all of our lending in the city of Cleveland is the borrower, us delegating our authority to a correspondent to sell our products and not a proactive purchase of CRA loans. So in the county analysis on the very first slide of the analysis, you'll see for all loans, I just presented the number of loans that we originated. And in each of the categories, whether originated and purchased owner occupied, or originated only and originated owner occupied, we are the first ranked lender. When it comes to racially or ethnically diverse, that is on the next slide. Again, I compared the originated and purchased versus originated and purchased owner occupied. and originated loans owner occupied. And it's the same theme throughout, so I won't mention that again. But we are ranked as the first lender in all of those categories as well. On the next slide, in majority diverse census tracts, so that's any census tract where the diversity exceeds 50% or more. Again, we are the #1 lender in each of those categories. If you flip to slide 7, which is low to moderate income census tract, again, we're the #1 lender in each of those categories. And then the last category at the county level, the low to moderate income borrower, again, we are the #1 lender in each of those categories. When it comes to the city, it's a little bit different. We are either #1 or #2, and we share the #1 or #2 spot with Third Federal. So on the all loans section of the city of Cleveland, you'll see we're the #1 lender related to all lending. When you flip to ethnically or racially diverse, it depends. So if it's owner occupied, we are the #1 lender, and if it's just originated or purchased, we're #2. When it comes to majority diverse census tracts, we have the #2 rank overall in every category. On low to moderate income census tracts, again, it varies, but typically we're in the #2 position with a #1 position related to owner occupied originated loans. And then for low to moderate income borrower, we have the #1 position overall. When it comes to small business data, it's a little bit different. So for small business data, we are ranked #6 when it comes to the number of loans. One of the things that we contemplate when we're reviewing this data is the average loan size, just to understand what type of potential lending that is being made. With the limited amount of data that is available for small business, small farm data, you really don't have a lot of options to analyze it at the city level, so it's only presented at the county level. Under small business reform or CRA reform, that will change. There'll be more data available, much like HMDA data, and so we'll be able to present a more thorough analysis in the future. But overall, if you look at this for the county, we are ranked 6th when it comes to the number of loans, and we are #2 when it comes to the total dollars, and our average loan size is about $102,000. When you look at the city, which is the next slide. Sorry, I think I mislabeled it. When you look at when you look at the county and you look at loans to with gross annual revenues of $1 million and less, we're still ranked #6 in total loans, but then we're #1 in total dollars. So the first slide was loans that are $1 million or less, and the second slide is to businesses with gross annual revenues of $1 million or less. Lastly, I'd like to mention our community plan. Huntington currently has in place a $40 billion community plan. It's for 5 years. $16 billion of that $40 billion was dedicated to diverse lending and investments. When we look at our community plan and we allocate it across our MSAs, we basically assign a percent based on the percent of deposits that the MSA drives for our bank. And so for the Cleveland MSA, it's about 10%, technically 9.8%. And so if you look at our $40 billion plan, you could estimate that about $4 billion would come back to the Cleveland MSA through that plan. And so for our first 3 years, Huntington has originated in the Cleveland MSA $1.9 billion. When it comes to home lending, we've originated $1 billion. And then in small business, it's $433 million. A couple of things that's important about our community plan, we only count each loan one time. So if a loan falls into multiple categories, we pick a category to include that loan in, and that's the only time that loan is counted. The second thing that I would note is we are limited to public available data, so we don't add anything in our commitment that you can't go and validate yourself. Lastly, what I would mention about this is that when it comes to the loans that we include in this count, it's not just the loans made in the MSA, but it's very specific to diverse borrowers, the same categories we just reviewed in our data. So low to moderate income census tract, majority diverse census tract, low to moderate income borrower, and diverse borrowers. So those are the only things we count towards our community plan.
Any other comments, questions from my colleagues? want to thank you for your complete and thorough presentation. And now we will move on to the next group. Thank you. Going in alphabetical order after them, Key Bank. Welcome.
Good morning, members of council. My name is Chanel Smith-Wiggum. I am joined today by Charlie Weiss, Susie Todaro, and Eric Fiala, who will join me at the podium at the end of the conversation. And we are happy to support and sponsor Justice Ketanji Brown, who will be at the City Club today. I am in red because she is my sorority sister, not because of Key Bank today.
You're a Delta.
Yes. We are honored to be here today and grateful for the opportunity to continue the partnership with Cuyahoga County. We are even more proud to call Cuyahoga County home. This community is at the heart of what we do, and we are deeply committed to its growth and success. This morning, we want to share our progress to date on our community investments and the steps we've taken to support Cuyahoga County residents. We will focus on our ongoing efforts in home lending, where we've made strides and recognize that there is still work to be done. We are here to reaffirm our commitment to continuing this progress and ensuring that all members of the community benefit from the investments we are making. Do you have the clicker? There we go. Thank you. Since 2017, Key Bank has invested nearly $2 billion in the Cleveland market, focused on affordable housing, mortgage, and small business lending to low to moderate income borrowers in neighborhoods, and transformational philanthropy. These investments demonstrate our deep commitment to economic growth and vitality in our community. Key Bank has been a pivotal player in financing affordable housing projects across Cleveland, and which provide much needed housing options for hundreds of families. Examples of our investments include $22.6 million of financing for Garrett Square Apartments, a 49-unit affordable housing project for seniors in the Glenville neighborhood, $30 million of financing for the Cleveland Foundation Midtown Collaboration Center, $18.1 million of financing for Henrietta Homes, 40 leased to purchase affordable single-family homes to be built on vacant land throughout the Huff neighborhood of Cleveland, $13 million in Metro Health via Sana to develop 72 affordable high-quality residents, $18.1 million investment in University Settlements 5115, The Rising at Slavic Village, $16.9 million in Vesta Corporation's The Longfellow, creating 80 affordable apartments for seniors 62 and older, preserved within Cleveland's historic Henry W. Longfellow School, and $31 million investment in Carnegie Tower at Fairfax to renovate affordable senior housing units. These are just some of the examples of affordable housing investments we've made in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County. Additionally, Key Bank has consistently partnered with Cuyahoga County to invest in catalytic initiatives. Some of these include $300,000 investment to support the equitable development ecosystem collaboration, supporting long-term access for developers of color in the real estate development industry, $2 million investment in the Cleveland-led Safe Home Fund, and a $200,000 philanthropic contribution to support the fund's efforts. $11 million to Say Yes Cleveland Scholarship Fund, and $1.5 million to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank to support their expansion, including the construction of the new facility in Collinwood. To deliver on these community investments, Key Bank has been intentional about engaging communities by launching community banking pop-up clinics, having hosted one at Third Space Action Lab in Cleveland and East Cleveland. We have also collaborated with Black faith leaders to understand community needs and to deliver financial education and to support directly where community needs us the most. In April 2024, Key Bank received our 11th consecutive outstanding rating from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency for exceeding the terms of the Community Reinvestment Act. We are also proud to have received an outstanding rating here in the Cleveland MSA for our lending, investments, and services. This recognition underscores our dedication to meeting the community needs and exceeding regulatory expectations in our commitment to our community reinvestment. While maintaining a robust CRA investments, we have also intentionally increased home lending to Black and minority borrowers. As KeyBank approaches its 200th birthday next year, we also celebrate the growth of our in-house mortgage business, which is just 7 years young. Since its inception, we have worked diligently to develop the right products, services, and strategies to drive home lending in Black and minority communities. This focus has led to significant progress. We've launched special purpose credit programs within the Cleveland market and have funded nearly 50 applications, providing $230,000 in credits for our Key Neighbors First program, which provides $5,000 in closing costs to those who participate in that program, and 63 fundings totaling $2.3 million in loans for our Key Opportunities Loan, which is a rate buy-down program for home improvement. Through the first half of 2024, nationally, our percentage of applications from Black borrowers has grown from 2.6% in fiscal year 6.8%. In Cleveland MSA, our percentage of applications to Black borrowers has grown from 7.6% in fiscal year 2020 to 18.3%. You can see that on slide 8. Our percentage of purchase originations has grown from 5.7% to 17.9%. Based on 2023 data, KeyBank outperformed peer banks for both applications and originations. Our investments have already made a significant impact in our community, and we are committed to continuing this trajectory. By supporting affordable housing, increasing access to home loans for underserved communities, and fostering economic growth through small business lending, we are dedicated to creating a more equitable and prosperous Cuyahoga County. Moving forward, we will continue to work closely with community partners, local government, and other stakeholders to ensure that our investments align with the needs and aspirations of Cuyahoga County residents. Again, Chairwoman, members of council, we thank you for this opportunity to share our progress, and we are continued to our commitment to this county and the residents through this next contract. They can join me if they like.
Madam Chair, can you check your microphone too? Thank you.
Mr. Fiala, I see you moving toward the podium. Are you going to share something additional? Okay. If there are no additional questions, we're going to let you off easy.
Oh, not so fast.
Okay.
I just,
I'm sorry, I
good
didn't look your
morning.
way.
So there was questions coming up about the level of lending from your bank. What is the lowest loans that you would be, is there a cap on how high or low you will loan to homeowners?
To the chairwoman, to the Councilwoman Simon, it's good to see you. I think you're talking about mortgages related to mortgages. So we have a key community mortgage that does not have a minimum loan amount for it. So no.
Is that, does that have a limit? Is there more of a demand to the supply, or it's unlimited?
It does not have a limit.
So whoever wants to apply, they have to qualify?
Yes, you have to
Certain
qualify,
criteria?
of course, meet the underwriting criteria, but there is not a floor as far as a minimum for that amount, for that mortgage.
And how often and to what percentage is that used? Do you think it's?
I don't have that in front of me right now, Councilwoman, but we can follow up with you on it.
That's okay. I mean, do you think that enough people know about it to be using it?
Well, one of the things that we've been focused on is, from a community engagement perspective, is educating our community members on the products and service that we have, and that includes talking about the Key Community Mortgage.
So if somebody came in to purchase a home and wants a mortgage, but wouldn't qualify traditionally, would somebody at that store, at the bank, say, hey, but we have this program if you qualify? Is that how that would work? Is there a discussion about an option?
There's always a discussion about an option if someone qualifies or they do not qualify. One of the things that we encourage at our bank branches is, financial wellness reviews, and where we have conversations with people to understand where they are from a credit perspective. And so in some cases, if someone doesn't qualify for a mortgage or any other product, we talk to them about what are sort of things they need to do to improve their credit. So at KeyBank, we have a secure card where we work to move people through their secure card process and help them graduate through that and get access to better credit scores, and so they can become eligible for a mortgage product.
Thank you.
Okay. If there are no further questions, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Is there a representative of PNC present? Thank you. If you'll identify yourself, please.
Good morning, Chair Stevens, and good morning, members of the committee. My name is Kevin Grabelny. I'm a public finance banker here in Cleveland with PNC. I'm joined by my treasury management colleague, Kurt Hanna, and I want to thank all of you for this time today, for the opportunity to continue to serve Cuyahoga County through lending, reinvestment, and community engagement. I'm here today to talk about our lending in Cuyahoga County, and I'm also here to talk about more broadly some of the things that we continue to do to reinvest and activate within the community. So in Cuyahoga County, based upon the 2022 Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, the HMDA data, PNC originated 50% of its first lien purchase loans to LMI borrowers. Our total LMI lending percentage, combining both income and tract, was approximately 60% of our production. And additionally, approximately 19% of our business were loans under $100,000. We have 5 mortgage loan officers dedicated to Cuyahoga County, of which 2 are solely dedicated to CRA. I'd also like to talk about grants and assistance that we provide. We have mortgage down payment assistance of up to $10,000. We have a low income grant of $2,500. We have a low to moderate income borrower grant of $3,000. And we have a PNC grant of up to $7,500 for eligible communities based upon property location in a targeted tract. I'd also like to talk about what PNC is doing in Cuyahoga County today. I'd like to talk about our mobile branch banking. Every other week for 2 hours, our mobile team activates in a community partner's parking lot, leading with education and financial wellness. We open accounts and can issue debit cards in real time. We can take a mortgage application at that time, and we can also offer ATM banking. Some of our partners in our locations that we serve are University Settlement, Food Bank, Tri-C Metro, Salvation Army, East Cleveland and West Park, Fairfax, Catholic Charities, St. Martin de Porres, Burton Bell Carr, and Lutheran Metropolitan. I'd also like to talk about our Fairfax Connection, opened in 2012, a community resource center for the community of Fairfax in Greater Cleveland, providing financial literacy, workforce development, and cultural programs. Our mission is to connect. At Fairfax, our mission is to connect every individual to programming and career opportunities throughout Greater Cleveland. Our Fairfax Connection is located on East 82nd Street and Carnegie Avenue. And my colleague, Dan Roberson, is now the executive director. And if you haven't been to Fairfax, I'd invite all of you to come down and see it. I'd also like to talk about our Partner Up program, now in its 4th year. The Partner Up program is a recruiting initiative that builds connections between employers with career opportunities and career-bound high school seniors that are looking for an alternative to the college for all mentality. The goal? Hiring is the goal. Retention is the focus. The program offers a business-facilitated curriculum for high school seniors during the day and partnered directly with the schools. Our program offers high school seniors the opportunity to build their resumes, sharpen their interview skills, and develop the confidence and preparation for interviews with potential employers. The Partner Up program is in the markets of Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and most recently expanded to Birmingham, Alabama. In Cuyahoga County, schools that are reached: CMSD, East Cleveland, Fairview, Brush High School, and Bedford. We're in 30 school buildings, and we partner this with 13 employers. I'd also like to talk about our community banking team and my colleague. We have a community banking team of 5, led by Brian Williams. Both of us are right across that street, 1900, which we can see out the window. We're here in Cleveland, partnering with many organizations to promote housing access and economic opportunity, all done through grants, lending, sponsorship, programming, financial wellness training, and banking resources. I'll name just a few partners that we go to market with: Cleveland Housing Network, NID Housing, and Old Brooklyn Community Development Corporation. And I'm standing here and I'm proud to say that PNC has achieved a CRA rating of outstanding since 1977. I'd also like to touch on our Grow Up Great program, our signature program, of which we've been helping children from birth to age 5 discover their love of learning. Our goal is to build stronger communities through early childhood education, which we believe starts at birth. In Cleveland alone, and since inception, we have over 70,000 volunteer hours within our Cleveland community. And last, and I'd like to conclude with this, our PNC Community Benefits Plan. We've designed a community benefits plan which covers the area of home lending, small business, and small farm loans, community financing, charitable grants, and sponsorships. This enables PNC to drive positive economic impact in the communities we serve through targeted investments, improve access to banking, and community-based initiatives and advocacy. From January 2022 to June 2024, PNC has deployed in the Cleveland regional market $864.1 million in strategic investments and giving across affordable housing for LMI borrowers and communities, loans to support small businesses in LMI communities with less than $1 million in annual revenues, investing in loan capital to support affordable housing, economic development, neighborhood stabilization, and community service in traditionally underserved communities. That concludes my remarks right now. Thank you, Chair Stevens, for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you. Do my colleagues have any questions? All right. Thank you so much for your presentation this morning. As I said before, we have a series of committee meetings, and I believe staff from the executive's office will be recommending that we move forward. If there are no further questions, Madam Clerk, would you call our next lender to the podium?
Yes, and for the record, I'd like to acknowledge that Councilmember Miller is in attendance.
Thank you.
And our final banking provider will be U.S. Bank, National Association.
Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning, Chair Stevens, members of council. My name is Jeff Spatrino. I represent U.S. Bank's Government Banking Division. I'm based here in the county. I cover 85 governments in 6 states. Also with me is my manager, Lee Strom, who flew in from our headquarters cities, which is Minneapolis, to be with us here today. Lee is the co-manager of our government banking line of business. Also with me is Norland Story. She heads up our Business Access Advisory Program and our Diversity Lending Program, and Norland is also based here in the county. Just a few words about U.S. Bank. Size-wise, we are the 5th largest bank in the country. We have 70,000 plus employees, and more important than that, we are one of the highest rated banks in the world. Our long-term deposit ratings are AA3 from Moody's, single A plus from S&P, and Fitch has us at AA minus, so we're essentially AA across the board. With respect to community outreach and CRA, U.S. Bank has a long history of receiving an outstanding CRA rating that we're very proud of. Some of the examples would be in 2023, we invested $671 million in affordable housing and in buildings in historic areas that required renovation. We're also proud of the fact that we spent $492 million last year with minority-owned and operated contractors. A couple of loan programs we want to briefly highlight. One is targeted at homeowners in underserved areas. It's our American Dream Home Loan Program. This loan program only requires a 3% down payment. It's a 30-year fixed rate loan that's currently priced at 6 7/8%. We also cover private mortgage insurance for borrowers, and we provide credit for ordinary closing costs, which would be title fees, transfer fees, points, et cetera, appraisal fees. The credit that we provide would be the greater of $5,500 or 3% of the purchase price up to $10,000. So if the purchase price is $100,000, the credit would be $5,500. If the purchase price is $300,000, the credit would be $9,000 per borrower. We also have a program targeted at small businesses through our diversity lending program, where we provide up to $2.5 million in financing for the acquisition of equipment or real estate. That would be in the form of a term loan or real estate loan. We also provide up to $2.5 million of line of credit financing to support the growth in receivables and inventory, to support the growth of small businesses. To qualify for this program, a business cannot have more than $25 million of annual sales, so it's truly targeted at small businesses. Countywide, we have 120 employees. We have 26 branch offices. And in 2023, we recorded 1,188 volunteer service hours. And those are my remarks. We're happy to answer questions.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, can you check your microphone?
Thank you. A lot of your questions addressed the national market as opposed to the local market.
Yes.
Did you have an additional submission to talk about the local market?
We do have information, Madam Chair, about our home loan mortgage activities. This would be the Cleveland Elyria MSA.
Okay.
And this is an extract of our HMDA filing that we did in 2023. There were a total of 10 lenders, and overall we came in 8th in terms of originations. However, on the basis of race and ethnicity, with respect to the Asian population, we came in 1st. With respect to Hispanic borrowers, we came in 1st. And with respect to African American borrowers, we came in 5th. And with respect to Caucasian borrowers, we came in 8th. So that's how the rankings played out.
And how many loans did you make in that SMA?
I don't have a specific number of loans at my disposal, but we can provide that, Madam Chair.
Questions that my other colleagues have? Hearing no further questions, thank you for your presentation. Thanks to everyone who, from the 4 lenders, came in today. Madam Clerk?
And Madam Chair, we do have a proposed substitute that's going to be presented by the Law Department for consideration.
Do we have the, yes, no? Is this the substitution resolution number R2024-0305?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
And so we have clarifying language here?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and
Excellent.
members of council. Nate Hall from the County Law Department. There were some questions submitted to the Law Department through council regarding the total sums of money that were going to each of the banks and how that was being spent. So the Law Department has added additional recitals, one for each bank, indicating how much of each contract amount is going towards fees versus reimbursements for future spending by the county. Excuse me.
You would share that for the record verbally? Aggregately, this is approximately 7.6 million?
That's correct. And
so if you'll go through the rounding and the, so that instead of what we saw in the original legislation, which was increments of $1 million, but didn't show the potential earnings, because there may be slight changes.
Correct, Madam Chair. So the total contract, the total for the 4 contracts not to exceed would be $7.64 million. However, of that amount, $1.44 million would be going to fees for the banks. For KeyBank, the total contract amount is for $4.6 million. However, only $400,000 of that is for banking fees. $3 million are anticipated P-card payments, and $1.2 million are for travel card payments. The Huntington contract is for $400,000, and that is entirely for fees. The U.S. Bank contract is for $2.32 million, of which $320,000 is for fees. The PNC contract is for $320,000. That is for their fees.
Thank you. Anything
Thank you.
else?
That is all.
Madam Clerk, if you would remind us of the process when we have an amendment?
We'll need a motion to accept the proposed substitute.
So moved.
I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? No questions from my colleagues? Then we will move forward to the vote. All in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, this resolution is amended and forwarded to the council body. Are there any other questions or comments?
Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Just for clarification, the current Key Bank contract is about to expire, so at the next council meeting, we will need to amend the current Key Bank agreement and pass it on suspension for that extension.
Understood. Do
Thank
my
you.
colleagues understand? They have an existing operating agreement. We need to continue to provide them with the ability to do the daily business of Cuyahoga County, especially since they have control of a significant number of our credit cards. Is that correct, Deputy? It's primarily the credit card business?
P-card, correct, yes.
I'm sorry, P-card. I equated them to credit cards in my head. And so the reality is a lot of our daily functions would be stopped if we did not give continuing authority.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks to everyone. Madam Clerk, is there anything else on our agenda for that?
We'll need to take an overall vote on this legislation.
Is there, so now we have, we've agreed to amend, and now we need to vote to move to council, correct?
We did accept the proposed substitute. Now we'll vote to refer to council.
Okay. I move that we move this before council. Is there a second? Second. There's a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, this moves to the full body of council.
And to clarify, is that for second reading?
That is for second reading.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I have been informed that the provider for the item 5B from Smart Development is now in attendance. If you want to return to that item.
Yes, we can now return to the ARPA agenda. Thanks everyone else for their attendance.
Resolution 2024-0307, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Smart Development Incorporated for the Community First program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
And who's present to describe the request to council?
I was told that they were in attendance.
Okay. Guess not. There is another ordinance before us?
The final item is ordinance 2024-0009, amending sections 106.04, 701.07, 714.01, 714.02, and chapters 807 and 809 of the County Code to properly align the roles and responsibilities of the Department of Housing and Community Development and the Department of Development.
So I see someone from the law department approaching the podium and the microphone.
Morning, Madam Chair, and Chair and Greg, who's with the county.
Yeah, we know who.
And it's still early.
Yeah.
With the law department. Yeah, this is probably actually something that should have happened last year when the Department of Housing and Community Development was created. We basically just went through the code and pulled out those sections that are now under the jurisdiction of the Department of Housing and Community Development and swapped out the reference to that department for the Development Department.
This is something the exec wants to see happen?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I didn't see anything inappropriate in the changes that were requested. Discussion from my colleagues? So basically, we have here a cleanup of legislation for all tasks related to housing, affordable housing, loans, those kinds of things that make the day-to-day operations of the housing department.
Correct, and I think that there's a reference in here, the demolition fund and the community development fund. I think we also had to make sure those were corrected. Mhm.
Okay. And it gives it the reporting requirements and new program, the ability to create new programs?
Well,
because I'd hate to see, since you're here, does it give them the ability to do new initiatives that are focused on affordable housing? As opposed to coming through
it doesn't
development?
restrict that in any way. So if they would want to bring something, a new program here to get approval, yes, certainly. Mhm.
Okay. Just want to make sure they have robust abilities to be proactive on affordable housing for this county. All right. Questions from my colleagues? Hearing no questions from my colleagues, we don't need to do this in an expedited manner, do we?
No, we're all set.
This should move forward to the full body. Do I need a vote, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Is there a motion in favor of this amendment to the county code?
So moved.
Ms. Simon. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Kelly. Thank you very much. All in favor? If there's no discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank
There
you.
is no opposition. We're moving forward full steam. Thank you. Was there any miscellaneous business that we missed, Madam Clerk?
No, just for the record, Resolution 2024-0307 will be held.
Okay. Thank you. If there's no miscellaneous business, this meeting is adjourned.